You know how we start the day. Okay, so let's take a walk. And I want to show you some of the things I think about when I'm doing this ecological, residential, fire smart, habitat, maintaining habitat, enhancing habitat. Horizontal diversity, and by that I mean a lower stand with branches moving out through. Some people in the residential side would like to see everything pruned up, and you sort of eliminate the horizontal diversity, for the creatures that move horizontally through the forest. Vertical diversity, different height classes, and species diversity, which in turn gives you a pretty healthy forest, which becomes a little more resilient. So what I did this morning, some of the old stuff that I had here, I cut it up and put it in a pile. I'm taking those two pieces of furniture today. But in through here, let me see, there's rock walls all through here, old ancient rock walls, so I didn't want to disturb those. One right along there. So I wanted to leave as much coarse woody debris on the ground as possible, which, as we know, aids in the hydrology of the land. I wanted to leave some of the old brush. It's so brittle, so dry, that it's decomposing. But right in front of me, like, look. I'm not up on my terms on purple stuff. But obviously it's seeding in from the residential side. Lots of apple trees in here. More purple. There's a nice path that comes along through there. Let me get up here and have a look around. Again, more coarse woody debris on the ground. And give it a couple of seasons to decompose. Forestry mulching, this coarse woody debris, it enriches the soil. It controls erosion. Creates a little habitat under there, and really it belongs in the forest. I don't want to go too hard on these old white spruce, because my experience, if you get too close and push them too hard, they bleed too hard. So we watch for that. But from the residential side, you want to be able to walk through and look down through, but keeping that structural horizontal diversity. Heavy leaves in here. There's oak in here, and red maple, beech, aspen. But it's just as it should be. I mean, and I guess I say that from my point of view, that I feel I'm threading the needle between beauty, view, wind firmness, habitat, browse, feed, all those things. All in the spectrum of ecological forestry. You'll never make everybody happy, because people come along with different opinions and they see things and it feeds their opinion. But I can only do what science and training has taught me. Okay, here's something I want to kind of show you. Oh, sorry, the old stump. Let me get around here to the back. Try to explain to you what my thoughts are. So, folks would come along and say, let's clean this up. They would look at that brush pile over there, a dead stub in there. Okay, I'd like to have these all cleaned up. Well, again, these old snags, as I've mentioned before, category 1, sort of dead standing. Category 2 would be leaning over supported. Category 3 would be right on the ground. 4 as it starts to really decompose, moss over, and 5, it's pretty well taken over by the soil. Now this, in that characteristic description, would be 2, but this is well beyond that. This is so old and probably so full of complex organisms, and which would support invertebrates and birds. So that is something that you look for in these old growth characteristics, site characteristics. This right here, okay, you know, is it unsightly? From one point of view, yes. But from another point of view, complete denning structure, all through the rocks and the holes, all covered with fallen trees, limbs, and brush. So when you get the snow on that in these brutal cold winters like we had, it creates what's called the subnivean zone underneath that snowpack. And it'll stay about 0 there. And it allows the small animals to escape predators, move around, go out and gather. So in there, you've got all kinds of organism life. In here, you've got the denning creatures. And then right here, these taller stumps. Instead of cut right off, these taller stumps support a more varied host of organisms. And the hole nesters start to take over. So years ago, these are the things, you know, in tree service, we would say, okay, let's just eliminate this and make it look pretty. But you sanitize the forest, you eliminate the habitat, you create dry, arid conditions. We're in a different world, and we try to accomplish the safety, the beauty, but the ecological. That's what I find. I find when I have time to talk to my clients, they like the science. It doesn't have to be all like this, not at all. But certain areas, why not?